Hello, and welcome to Transform Your Data into Value, Trends and Best Practices in Manufacturing. I'm Paul Lewis, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer for Pythian. I hope you're enjoying the summit, especially the keynote led by Thomas Kirian on how digital transformation is contributing to innovation and affecting every aspect of a manufacturer's business. And don't miss the session, Enabling SAP Customers on Google Cloud. Manufacturers continue to break up data silos across their value chains as integrating data from various data sources becomes more and more important. I've been doing this for a while, 25 years in financial services and operations, retail, and manufacturing. A good portion of that time was operating IT in large IT environments, thousands of applications, hundreds of people, dozens of data centers across a complex network of multiple line of businesses, both collecting data both inside and outside the organization. I spent a good portion of my time with CIOs and CTOs talking about digital transformation and security and machine learning and AI and how we can evolve the IT strategy into being data-centered and data-oriented. I also spend my time in the academic side, looking for the new talent in AI, machine learning, and cloud, and how we can create a technology hierarchy for those smart people to deliver on innovation for our organizations. There is a goal of digital manufacturing. There's some constraints, right? 75% of the organizations indicate issues with their supply chain, a technological imbalance between the inventory to the shelf, from order to cash. 82% say their customers' service must transform in order to make it competitive. It has to be a new customer experience, a new client interaction. This digital manufacturing can be broken up into three big digital project and experiences. First, on the maintenance side, how do I deal with both the facility and the equipment? How do I predict potential failure and have a guided and electronic sense of repair? On the holistic operations side, how do I look at my production and predicting how much I need in order for the inventory? How do I look at operator capability and implementation? How can I ensure that multiple operators and multiple machines are effective? And on the quality side, how can I find defects quickly? How can I troubleshoot those problems when I see them? And how can I maximize yield and minimize cost through this entire chain? All of these problems, all of these innovations, in many ways, are data-centric. I need to collect data from the machines themselves. I need to collect data from the applications that are managing the machines. And I need to collect human experience, both operators of those machines and human management experience on how to best create the order to cash environment. I need a data-centric IT environment, which leads us to some interesting trends that we'll talk about. Over the last 2 years, work from anywhere has redefined what it means to collaborate and create. And it's not just the information workers, but it's also the task workers. I've had essential workers sitting in my manufacturing plants, but I've had to enable them differently because everybody around them needed to start to work from home. The first trend, 2022, 2023, 2024 will look a lot more like today than May of 2020. The next normal will be about balancing creativity and collaboration and productivity. It's about saying we can work together easy in a video environment and we can be productive at home, but how do we be productive while I still might have to commute in a hybrid environment? How do I work with a team together with a blank slate, with a blank whiteboard? I have to come in together in a teaming environment and use sticky notes to create something new. How do I create a hybrid environment for my home office and work office? So home has the same facilities, the same internet access, the same webcam, the same microphone. And how do I make sure it's just as safe at the office as it is in my house? And how do I make sure an operating norm exists so that office is much more about meeting people and celebrating success as it is about working and creating productivity? But the best part about this next normal is our ability to expand the talent pools. Yes, you'll have manufacturing plants in specific cities in order to deliver on specific timeliness for a raw material to production. But for all the other roles, I get to expand beyond that city. I get to look in the state or the province or the tri-state or even in the country or even in the hemisphere or even in the world. I can find and source the great and best people anywhere outside of a specific office location. People needs to be centric to your work from anywhere strategy. And you need to be conscious of the geographic and cultural diversity, inclusion, and belonging for just the individuals and the team as a whole and the culture. Trend number 2. There's going to be a big shift for IT when it comes for digital pivot. But there'll be differences for challengers and changers and thrivers. Remember, innovating in this age is about creating platforms of partnerships, right? An ecosystem in many ways of talent and technology and information to help us get through this digital transformation journey. And it's going to be different for different types of people. If you were a theme park, or if you were an airline or in the transportation business, or in the movie theater business, you had a challenge on customers, and therefore you had a challenge on revenue, and therefore IT's not considering reduction in spend or creating the most minimal amount of spend in order to survive. You might be on the other side of the equation. You might be a thriver. You might be transportation. You might be delivery services. You might be logistics, where you have significant increase in transactions, significantly more deliveries, more attraction to certain types of products. And I've got to think about not just the people, but the machines involved in making that happen. I'm worried about scale. How do I ensure that I can get orders of magnitude, 10, 100 times more transactions, more products, more people, articles delivered directly to the home? How do I create this digital environment, this digital logistical change? Or you might be an organization in the middle, those changers, where I'm worried about the physical presence in my transaction. Maybe it was a wet signature on a mortgage, or maybe I required to pick up my products in store because I didn't have a delivery capability. I've got to think about changing my e-commerce environment. So not only do I not have to go to a physical store to buy a product, I can buy online and have it delivered directly to my home. I have to create a new sense of supply chain. And then when it comes to the raw materials, I might not have access to raw materials in a specific geolocation. I have to change up and create both a domestic implementation of my supply chain and a national implementation and a global implementation of supply chain. I need to mix and match where that raw material is available, mix and match where I need to be able to be closer to the customer. It's really changed how I'm spending my digital transformation money. Trend number 3, data is everywhere. In fact, data is both created and consumed at the edge. The edge might be at the laptop. The edge might be in the grocery store. The edge might be at the bank. The edge is certainly in the manufacturing plant. Not only is the plant itself producing data, but each individual machine in the production line is producing data. It's the flow to which you see the production line drive, right? From raw materials to full product to the shelf through the logistics chain. It's really about gathering all that data to create value and transparency and understanding and orchestration. But it's complex, right? There are hundreds, if not thousands, of technologies to deal with this complexity of the data. Not only is that at the edge in the machines, but it's also in the data center. It's also in the cloud. It's also in my customers and their mobile applications. It's throughout my entire supply chain. I've got to think about creating a means to collect all that information, connecting to 1,000 points of light, orchestrating that information into data lakes and data warehouses in order to create visualized insights, right? Both in real time and through my standard MIS processes, right? How do I understand all this complex, nuanced technology when I spend all of my time in the manufacturing plant? ERPs such as SAP, which is heavy in the manufacturing world, has ecosystems of primary data, and it's ripe for producing insights. How are you going to collect and modernize that information? You need to leverage organizations like Google, GCP, and Pythian in order to apply that machine learning and AI logic to derive and find that insight and observability in the entire end-to-end environment. But delaying a move to digital transformation is no longer an option. It is now a mandatory requirement. We, Pythian and Google, can help you get started on that path by turning that data into value, leveraging the Google Cloud. And we can by matching and aligning these business outcomes of maintenance, like predictive failure and guide repair, or operations of optimization and availability, or quality of defect production and root cause analysis with the technology priorities of the organization, right? I require a data strategy and data governance to understand that information. I need to use cloud to be that serverless environment to have an endless amount of consumption of compute in order to run those complex algorithms. I need to implement machine learning and AI algorithms to drive that insight, to find those nuggets of gold. And I need to use collaborative tools to work together, right? It takes a team to derive insight and to assess its value and to apply its actual prescriptive result. Make strategic decisions based on the data that we come together and solve. And we've done this before. We've had lots of conversations in manufacturing when it comes to advisory. How can we look at your data estate, your data portfolio, and discover not just the potential insights you have, but where all that data might be hidden, right? Some of that data is based on an individual plant and an individual machine, or locked into some SaaS product. Let us help you discover where all that interesting information is in order to orchestrate into an environment where you can create analytics. Or on a data operations side, where we can look into the SAP environment, combine that with the rest of the organizational data to create insights holistically versus just within the ERP environment. Or we can look at the actual machines themselves and help you create this IT-OT convergence, prescriptive maintenance on the individual machine itself or smaller production line, right? How can we help you discover problems before they become a problem? Or it's an optimization problem where you need to fill this truck in the best possible way. Well, that's a set of algorithms to help you figure out which boxes in which order and which size and which weight for the most efficient balance and the most efficient travel experience to the various customer sites, either production or stores. We've been doing this for a long time, 24 years in business, 30 different operating countries. We have almost 400 experts across 5 continents. We've been a 3 times winner of Google Partner of the Year Award, and we look forward to the next Partner of the Year Award. We have 140 GCP certifications and 25 partner expertises. And we've just been named as a managed service provider under the Google partnership. And we have a broad set of capabilities. It starts with data and cloud advisory, right? We want to help you with understanding your data maturity, right? Where you are in your store and enrich and monetize. How can we help you look at your applications to transform them and to be a little bit more agile and a little bit more secure and to handle the scale required to grow? In a real sense, we can help you with the productionized data, right? Your relational and your non-relational databases on premise, help you evolve, migrate, modernize, even move to the cloud. We want to help you with your data warehouse and data lake strategy. How can we get information out of the source systems and combine them together, integrate to create interesting insights, converging both IT and OT? And how can we help you with that visualization, right? How can we create interesting dashboard insights for not just the IT side, but into finance and the marketing and even the executive review? And then how can we look at the application itself? How can we help you modernize the SAP environment from where you are to adding new modules, to getting access to that information, to evolving into HANA S4? We can help you with that migration and modernization. And all that requires an infrastructure understanding, right? We need to be able to implement as much automation as we can to take those 17 steps in your runbook and make them 2, right? To ensure that you have as much infrastructure as code implemented as possible. So with a click of a button, you're creating appropriate landing zones, highly secure implementations, and you can create in many ways a migration and application factory, right? Where your deployment to production is high quality and automatically deployed. We can help you because we have 25 years of this capability. Thank you very much. And if you'd like some more information, feel free to reach out to me personally or to anyone on the Pythian team. Have a great rest of the session.